Hey folks, how you doing today? So we're going to talk about Project 1 here. Note the due date here is actually a little bit off here. I'm thinking I might actually change our schedule just a little bit because if it was due on a Monday, it'd be due at the end of Memorial Day, and that sounded rough making a project due at the end of Memorial Day. So this is actually due the end of Tuesday, May 31st. So I think come that week, we'll actually switch over to starting weeks on Wednesday morning and ending them on Tuesday night, because we also have the 4th of July coming up in July, obviously, where July 4th lands on a Monday, and I'd rather not have you have an assignment due that night. Not that you folks are going to procrastinate, and I'm sure you'll get it done with plenty of time because you have 2 weeks for all these projects, but I want to make sure for anybody who does happen to leave that for the last minute that I'll actually be around. Because on Memorial Day and 4th of July, I'm going to be busy, and honestly, I won't be answering your questions. Let's just, we'll put that out here. So if you do run into any issues, I don't want that to be the panic that you didn't get it done and you can't get a hold of me on a holiday. So I think we'll work on moving those over as we go. So anyway, for the first project here, there's a GitHub Classroom link. We'll make a repository. So this will be another folder on your computer. So you'll have one for the lab, one for the project. Right? We want to keep these things nice and separate. In the GitHub client, you can switch between them here with this little drop down. So you can switch between whatever repositories you want. You'll see all your lab or project assignments in here as you go. Okay? So what you're going to submit is the URL to your file and a self-assessment using the rubric. This is really important. I want you to look at the rubric and use it. You're welcome to give yourself partial points if you didn't actually complete an item, but if you didn't get it working, I really would expect you to have reached out to me and said, hey, what's going on? Right? I got stuck somewhere, and I am happy to get you unstuck. Now, I'm not going to write the code for you, right, because this is your assignment, but I will definitely help get you unstuck, get you pointed in the right direction so that you can complete it. Honestly, nothing thrills me more than like everyone getting 100% on these. I think that is fantastic. So we'll take a look at that rubric in just a little bit here. Now, just a note that these amounts are kind of made up here because the actual formula is a little bit complex. So we're going to write a Java program that helps the user determine how much kitten formula they need to buy. So we're going to ask the user for their name, and then we're going to use their name in all the prompts. So we'll say, hey, Eric, or what's your name? And if I enter Eric, we'll say, hey, Eric, how many kittens do you have to feed? And I would say, I have 3 kittens. We'll say, how old are the kittens? Well, we took them to the vet today. The vet thinks they're 6 weeks old. We'll ask the average weight of the kittens. They're just about 500 grams or so. So then we'll see. For kittens 1 to 4 weeks old, we need to calculate 5 milliliters of formula for every 100 grams the kitten weighs. So if I have a 500-gram kitten, I would need 5 times 5, right? So I need 25 milliliters of formula for each kitten, but they're not 1 to 4 weeks old, so that doesn't matter, right? So we need to have that expression and say, hey, if the age is, right, between 1 and 4, and again, we can talk more about that if that doesn't make any sense, how we could figure that out here. Really, you're probably just going to do like less than 5 or less than or equal to 4 is probably your easiest bet here for that one. Then we'll figure out just formula here, based on the weight. If they're 5 to 8 weeks old, so we'll say if they're less than 5, else if they're less than or equal to 8, right, we'll catch the next range here. They need 20 milliliters of formula, just a fixed amount, plus then we're going to do 10 grams of wet food for every 100 grams they weigh. So my kittens at 6 weeks old, I would give 50 grams of wet food plus 20 milliliters of formula every day. Okay, so this is, I'm sorry, I should note in here, this is daily. Here, this is daily, daily, not weights, but weighs, right? Weighs here, daily, yeah, a day. Okay, a day is good here. So 10 grams of wet food for every 100 grams the kitten weighs daily. And then if they're 9 or weeks older, so really your else case, if it's not less than 5 or less than or equal to 4 and not less than or equal to 8, then they must be older than that. They need 100 grams of wet food a day. We'll just say a fixed amount. Now, again, this will cap out eventually. We'll switch them over to other foods, but we won't call them kittens at that point. I don't know. At some point, we phase out that term, so that's all fine. Well and good. So what we're going to do then is calculate the required amount of formula in milliliters and wet food in grams needed to feed the kittens for 1 week. So this is an entire week then. So that's 7 times what we calculate daily here. So this will tell me how much I need to buy, how much formula and how much wet food I need to buy for my cats for the next week. Okay? That's the lab here. So again, make sure you're submitting the URL to your Java file from the repository and that self-assessment. So you can go find the rubric in the assignment section here. So on mine, I need to, I think, edit the assignment. When you view it, it should show it for you here, but my view is a little bit different. I apologize. But there's 5 categories here, so you get 2 points for each. So you get 2 points for the program asking the user for their name and using it in all the prompts. So if you ask the user, hey, enter your name, and then whatever they enter, if we use that name, right, we save it as a variable, we use that name in all these other prompts, you get 2 points, 2 out of 10 there. Then we ask them how much for the kitten details, how many kittens, how old the kittens are, and the average weight in grams. So this should be how old in weeks, right? How old they are in weeks. And then that's 2 points, right? Just for asking them and storing that information. Then we get 2 points for actually doing the correct calculations for 1 to 4 weeks old, 5 to 8 weeks old, and 8+ weeks old. Again, like less than or equal to 4, else if less than or equal to 8, else. So like 3 different branches there with those if else. You don't need a while loop anywhere in here. So just some of that if stuff we were looking at with that chain of them here. And then we'll spit out the correct amount of formula and wet food for the kittens, okay? All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me, you can post in the Discord, you can post in the Q&A section here in D2L. However you want to get a hold of me, please let me know how I can get you pointed in the right direction and moving. You folks have a great week too. I will see you around.